Hello. Welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 339. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a Tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
Did you fit your name?
Yeah. I don't know what was going on in my...
Sam's wearing mom overalls right now.
Mm-hmm.
H-O-T.
Mm-hmm.
Hot.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Applefest this weekend.
Yeah. I look very pregnant in these, but anyways.
You look pregnant. Went to Applefest with Mitch and Gibby and Ashley and Courtney and had a splendid time.
It was a lot of fun. I loved it.
Saw a lot of family.
Yeah.
Saw some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Ate a lot of apple crisp.
A lot of food.
A lot of food, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Had some good cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Had some good camaraderie.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Dude, I would say overall it was a good weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday felt probably like it was 3 days long.
I thought it felt like a normal. Yeah, but for sure. Played some cribbage.
Yeah, we
Lost both times.
Mm-hmm.
But had fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of fun. Let me think here. Saw Grandma today.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. What do you got, babe?
Let's just rip her.
You want to rip it? All right, gang, it's late. 9:35 on Sunday.
I think this is the latest we've podcasted.
No, it's not.
No?
No, it's not. One time we did late. Came back on a Sunday. It was like 10, 11.
Okay.
Yeah, not the latest. It's late, but not the latest. All right, guys. So, as everybody knows, there's a thing called Hurricane Helene in North Carolina and South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Got affected by it. So, obviously, Florida got hit hard.
Florida always gets fucked up.
Yep. But there are parts of North Carolina and South Carolina that don't usually get affected or have issues and had major issues.
Major.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest storm in over 55 years.
Yeah. And, like... Sorry, there was a loud noise outside. The main thing, like, that you guys have to think about, too, is, like, we... Like, here in Wisconsin, like, we build our houses for the climate that we're used to.
Yeah.
It took, I think, Florida quite a while, and, like, a lot of southern states, it took them a while to figure out how to build houses to survive hurricanes or to, like, not get as fucked up during hurricanes.
Right.
So I'm sure, like, what?
I would just steel frame them, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are just, like, block.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, cement.
Oh, yeah, I would do that, too. Good call.
But a lot of these other towns that were affected by, like, flooding and rain and all this stuff, like, they're not built. Like, their houses and everything is not built to withstand any of that. 'Cause
flooding.
They probably have never had that or, like, have had it once every 50 years.
Right.
So that is, like, another thing to keep in mind of, like, why, like, yes, it really sucked for Florida, but Florida is also built for it. And there's
used to getting hit with hurricanes all the time.
Right. And then there's these other places that aren't used to getting hit, and it really fucked them up.
Yep. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just go over some stuff that we've been seeing, posts and whatnot, that have been a little interesting. And I'm sure a lot of people have been hearing these things, and I'm just going to go off of some posts and stuff that we've read in no particular order, just because I don't feel like putting them all into order.
The point that we always try to do, by the way, in these podcasts is to give you guys, like, news articles or feeds or something that you probably won't see elsewhere. Some of the posts actually that have seen in the past are gone already. So I do think, like, sites are taking things down. So that is the point of this, is to kind of show you guys a different side of the story that you may not be seeing. If you follow a lot of the same pages we follow, you probably do see it. But
I didn't even follow these. I've just been sent these from friends and stuff. So we'll get rolling with this. So this lady posts, they have medical teams trying to access Burnsville and Black Mountain in North Carolina, but authorities are threatening arrest. So civilians and medical teams who are trying to help out aren't able to help out. There's other people who said that the 82nd Airborne, based in Liberty, North Carolina, has all the equipment to bring in cargo equipment, shit like that for rescuing. They were a part of the team that rescued thousands of people during Katrina, and they've been putting in requests to go out and help, and they have not been activated, and they've been denied. Also, Fort Bragg has been told to stand down. So, is Fort Bragg that same base in North Carolina?
What is
that
it?
up for me. Fort Bragg.
Fort Liberty?
Fort Liberty?
Fort Liberty, formerly Fort Bragg.
Okay.
Is
Formerly Fort Bragg. Okay.
United States Army?
Yep. Okay, so Fort Bragg is Liberty. Okay. That's the base in North Carolina. Okay, cool. Some people are saying that at truck stops, they stopped and talked to some truckers at the truck stops, and truckers are verifying that their tires have been slashed at truck stops and also when they're asleep. And that other people are saying that they have friends with helicopters and whatnot, and trucks who are trying to bring donations and trying to go up in the mountains to rescue people who are being turned away. Another thing that popped up was so a gentleman posted to this person and said, please keep my info out of the post, that they're part of the 82nd Station in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The guys in the unit with family in Western North Carolina that are trying to get to their families, asking to go help, and they're being told no. Meanwhile, they got briefed that they have to stand by in case they need support in the Middle East. The people stuck need to know that we are trying to help, but we are not allowed to. So that's just some of the military stuff behind it, right? So I don't know how much people are aware of this and whatnot, but the National Guard is for things like this. The National Guard is to be deployed nation-side, stateside, to help out with disasters and things like that. Mm-hmm. The thing is though is, and I don't know why they do this, but like I know a unit who's in the middle of training to get deployed, a National Guard unit from the area in training to get deployed to the Middle East. Yeah. And so it's like, dude, why don't we use the National Guard, what they're used for, and get the National Guard over there to help out? Yeah. I just don't understand why they don't do that. And if you got active duty guys just sitting there, let them go. If they're right there, let them help. Yeah. So anyways, Red Cross and FEMA/TEMA has arrived, and all donations that have been given to local high school volunteers have been confiscated. So if you're looking to give donations and things like that, do not give it to any places but churches. Churches or people that it'll go directly to them, because churches are the only places that Red Cross and TEMA and FEMA cannot confiscate it from. So that's what one person is saying. FEMA came out and FEMA said that they do not have any money. Mm-hmm. FEMA ran out of money because FEMA has been spending FEMA has spent their whole budget on placing and helping with the migrants, mm-hmm. in the migrants coming across the border. So FEMA has deployed all of its funds to help migrants.
And I think a certain presidential candidate is the one that approved that.
Kamala approved that.
Yeah.
So that's FEMA's out of money. FEMA said they cannot help and will not help.
Yeah. Well, no. Every family can get $750.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Every family who's been directly affected can get $750.
Man, that sounds really familiar, Sean. Where have you heard that before?
I think that was in Lahaina, mm-hmm. in Hawaii.
Yeah, I think they also only got $750.
Yeah, pretty interesting. That was also for an interesting land grab, which we'll get to here shortly, from what we've been learning. So, a gentleman posts, Just got down from the mountains delivering supplies. Families with kids haven't ate or had water in 3 days before they got there. Multiple counties completely shut off from every utility. FEMA is currently confiscating donations and blocking volunteers. I fear we might need a militia to inhibit or stop FEMA. As crazy as it sounds, FEMA is directly confiscating donated items and blocking volunteers from helping, kicking churches out of parking lots, etc. That's from one gentleman. I am not telling you to do any of those things. That is terrible. That is just what a gentleman is posting and saying about the situation there. Don't do whatever. Yeah, do whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you to do anything. South Carolina pilot, volunteer, supplying and rescue missions, ordered out of Lake Lure due to arrest threat. A man who is a pilot, a certified law enforcement officer, and a volunteer member of the fire department over the weekend went on a rescue mission with his son, but after rescuing a North Carolina woman, they were forced to leave her husband behind because he was threatened with arrest by a firefighter official. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that floating around. Just that a man, like they went out, rescued the woman, but wasn't allowed to rescue the man because they were going to get arrested, which I thought is interesting. So the announcement comes as FEMA is conducting search and rescue operations in remote sections of the Appalachia 6 days after Hurricane Helene made landfall in Florida and moved north, causing widespread destruction and deaths of at least 183 people across 6 states. President Biden has in recent days approved major disaster declarations for the states affected by the storm, saying, "We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have." Mr. Mayorkas told reporters on Wednesday while en route to meet with officials in South Carolina. "We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season," Mr. Mayorkas said that. On Monday, President Biden suggested he might need to summon lawmakers back to Washington to approve extra funding for disaster relief after a stopgap bill for funding the government that passed last week did not provide the agency enough money to deal with multiple disasters. So that's kind of interesting. They are able to print money and come up with money for any situation, especially situations overseas, but they are not able to help the people in their own country, which I thought was very interesting. Let's see here. So this is where we start to get into what some may call conspiracy, but I call probably a correlation, but we'll just see where that goes. The world's semiconductor industry hinges on a single quartz factory in North Carolina. Ethan Molick explains that this unremarkable road leads to a Sibelco, North Carolina Inc. facility where ultra-high purity quartz is mined. This location is vitally important as it is claimed to be the sole supplier of quartz required to make the crucibles needed to refine silicone wafers. So this is a Wharton professor who studies AI innovation and startup, dramatically claims that the modern economy rests on a single road in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. So one of the things right now is up in those mountains in North Carolina is one of the largest quartz mines in the world, and that quartz is made for like microchips and all sorts of shit like that. Very important things that we need if we want to live in this world of AI and
electricity,
electric cars, electricity, things like that. So this lady says, here's a hypothetical. If the farmers and homeowners in North Carolina wouldn't sell their land to Piedmont Lithium, I wonder what could be done to incentivize them to sell. These people are sitting on lithium, which is worth billions. Maybe a flood from a hurricane that didn't seem like a normal hurricane. Do you think losing everything they own would make them consider selling? It looks a lot like Lahaina. Don't think that lady's completely wrong there. City of Asheville announces new project to enhance neighborhood resilience connectivity. And I believe, so that was towards a smart city thing. So anyways, moving forward, that one I'm not going to talk about because I don't care. Yep, we know that. Don't really care about that. Oh my, this one's fucked. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. All these things are just talking about how like somehow we've been able to since 2022 we've been able to give $175 billion in total aid to Ukraine, but we can't activate anyone to help people who are dying in the mountains in our own country.
Did you know we were able to we were able to evacuate 100 animals from the Humane Society before the storm hit?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exciting, right?
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. A lot of this stuff here is talking about like how much money we've given to different countries and whatnot, which we could go over, but we're not going to do that right now. This is pretty interesting here. Albemarle Corp submits permit applications for reopening of Kings Mountain lithium mines. This is September 24th of 2024. So Albemarle Corporation has introduced its project plan for the Kings Mountain mine in North Carolina, one of the few known hard rock lithium deposits in the U.S. The plan includes the proposed site footprint, primary physical features, and details of the mining processes. Pending permitting approval and a final investment decision, the mine is anticipated to produce approximately 420,000 tons of lithium-bearing spodumene concentrate yearly. Holy fuck. Providing a crucial building block of sustainable transportation and to support key defense applications. With the U.S. currently producing less than 2% of the world's supply of lithium, the Kings Mountain mine is expected to play a key role in growing the U.S. supply chain. In 2023, Albemarle was awarded a $90 million grant from the U.S. Department of Defense to help support the purchase of a fleet of mining equipment as part of the mine's redevelopment. Lithium is a critical element for key defense applications, including batteries for communication equipment and remote and deep-sea sensors, and for carbon dioxide absorption in submarines, gas masks, and space program. In 2022, Albemarle was awarded a $150 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy as part of President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law to expand domestic manufacturing of batteries for electric vehicles. Along with the project plan, Albemarle was commenced the public participation portion of a voluntary environmental and social impact assessment. So this is June 14th of 2024. Albemarle unveils King Mountain's mine site plan, invites community feedback. So extracting spodumene, I don't know how to fucking say that, from pegmatite sounds like something Captain Kirk might do on an alien planet, but actually this is how we get lithium. Learn this attending a community meeting hosted by Charlotte-based Albemarle at Kings Mountain this past weekend. So anyways, discuss that. They were talking to the citizens about that. So the current Kings Mountain lithium mine hasn't been mined, I believe, since 1983, and it's I think like 100. It's covered up by like 100 billion gallons of water. So they would have to get rid of a lake to get to the mine. But anyways, so they just opened. So this mine has not been in operation since 1983. But something that's kind of interesting about that is in the Vanguard Group, the largest is the largest shareholder of the Albemarle's mine, with 12% of shares outstanding. BlackRock Inc., a prominent investment management firm that acquired additional shares of Albemarle in August of 2024. Some things that I just find interesting is like if that mine hasn't been producing since 1983, which I can double check that's true. I don't know if you can look that up.
I think the population was very, very against it. So it might have been shut down because of the population. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that.
Sorry, I just have a conspiracy of my own to bring up later on.
Okay, so it's just interesting that like, why would they buy more shares in August of 2024?
What's the mine called? Do you know?
It's the
Sorry.
So it's Albemarle Corporation, and the mine is Kings Mountain Lithium Mine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and the deposits formed. 1 second. Boom. Okay. So that was some things shared by some individuals about the situation. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is for sure fact, but one of the things is, so Fed says there's no money left to respond to the hurricanes. But this is what one of the posts says for like money given, and so I don't know if these numbers are actually true or not. But 24.4 billion to Ukraine. So this is all money that was given this year to countries, right? 24.4 billion to Ukraine, 11.3 billion to Israel, 1.95 billion to Ethiopia, 1.6 billion to Jordan, 1.4 billion to Egypt, 1.1 billion to Afghanistan, 1.1 to Somalia, 1 billion to Yemen, 987 million to Congo, 896 million to Syria, 9,000 per illegal immigrant that entered the U.S., and now $750 per individual who lost everything to Hurricane Helene. So I don't know the truth behind all that exactly. I don't know the truth behind any of this, right? But these are just things that we've been seeing that we think's kind of interesting. There hasn't been many news stations covering this. Haven't seen much about like the National Guard or anything being deployed to help out.
I just saw one that said they were deployed.
They are now? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Are they helping, or are they just deployed over there?
It didn't really say.
Nice.
If you look up at articles, they all say that they've been trying, or like they're helping. This is what's going on, and it's like very generic things.
Sure.
I mainly only looked up like in Asheville, North Carolina, because that was one of the big cities that we heard things were going on.
Sure.
At. But in one of the articles, it did say like one of the residents that was up in the mountain more was trapped for 5 days. Mm-hmm. But they were up in the mountains, so the flooding and stuff they didn't have any mudslide issues up where they were, I guess, on the mountain. Mm-hmm. But they were still trapped up there for 5 days. Okay, real quick for you. So this mine, so it came out, by the way, May 3rd of this year, this article, that they were going to reopen this mine.
So when was it?
May 3rd this year, they talked about they're going to reopen this mine.
Okay.
So that was right. It hasn't been open since the 1980s.
Okay.
And they're predicting it. They were predicting it would open as early as late 2026, but that has been pushed back because lithium prices have gone down.
Oh.
So I'm curious if these companies bought in, lithium prices went back up.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that's one thing I don't know. But so this mine, so it says this resource-rich mine is crucial to setting up a domestic electric vehicle battery supply chain. So it is they're going to try and make a whole bunch of electric batteries in the U.S. then. So I'm guessing they're probably going to try and open some other mines for the other parts as well. It is predicted that this mine alone could produce enough material to manufacture 1.2 million electric vehicles annually.
To say for how many years?
No, it says it's the one of the world's richest deposits of spodumene or a source of lithium.
The only thing that I'm kind of concerned about is like right now in the world. Do you want to finish with that, and then I'll go on my thought?
So it says the company is preparing to start the permitting process, which will take 2 years to complete. Construction will be a multi-year undertaking before the mine is operational, according to the company. The Biden administration has made setting up a battery supply chain supported by domestic lithium production and processing a top priority to end dependence on China, which dominates the global market. Alborm, the company, was awarded a $90 million grant from the Defense Department to support the domestic mining.
Yeah, 150 and a 90.
Oh my God.
So
did you already say that? Sorry, I was reading. That is just wild. So one thing that I was reading about Asheville was the main part of the city that was impacted was like the business district, which housed a lot of the small businesses in the community. So now I'm curious too if they're going to still have people are still obviously going to live there.
Right.
You need workers.
Yeah.
And if people had all these small businesses that got destroyed, they're going to need someplace to go work.
Oh, fuck, dude. All right, so here's a couple things, right? So first off, this is something I think about that I'm not really sure people think about. Or, everyone's talking about like, oh, we gotta be around like climate change, right? Like if we don't switch to all electric and we keep using oil and petroleum and things like that, we're going to ruin the earth. Climate change, right? We're all going to die.
Yeah, because of carbon emissions with fuel oil stuff,
But like plants eat carbon dioxide. Anyways. Something I wonder about, dude, is like, okay, so we have a lot of oil, right? So oil mines are nowhere near as invasive as like lithium mines.
No.
And if you like look into them, lithium mines kills everything around it. And it's like big ass crater in the earth. It's very, very bad.
Yep.
Oil mines are just a fucking rig on the ocean, not affecting anyone.
Or not even on, it doesn't have to be in the ocean either.
Right. Yeah, it can be anywhere, right? Yep.
Yeah. But it's just like one rig that they install.
Yeah, and they're pumping out oil.
Yep.
And granted, you have carbon dioxide then, but I gotta imagine, what are you using to like think of the equipment, the mining equipment, and then in other countries the child labor, the child slave labor, right, and stuff to produce this lithium. Think of all the fucking mining equipment you're using that's running on oil.
And all the like dump trucks, all the cranes, everything. That's what I'm saying,
dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Think of those dump trunks are fucking huge, dude. But, so anyways, here's what I'm getting at.
I bet you, those factories, way worse for the fucking environment than cars.
I can almost guarantee it. Well, cars only cause 2% of the world's carbon dioxide pollution. Also,
guys, do your research. It is proven that making a battery is worse for the environment than a gas car.
Like a lot proven. I don't know how we're still going on this.
I don't either.
So anyways, something I think about, so there's a lot of oil. We can use a lot of oil. There is not, it doesn't seem to be as much lithium out there, right?
No, because isn't like oil oil reproduces
itself. Yep.
Yeah, all of these like minerals do not. Like
Yeah.
it's a finite source.
So oil reproduces from like as the earth continues to like crush together and shit, like whatever, is it like the layers, because it's like layers.
Yeah.
So as like it settles, whatever, it produces more oil, some shit like that. So oil continues to reproduce. At which rate, I've got no idea. But if we're using up all these resources like lithium, right? What happens when we actually need that in 100 years, 200 years, 300 years? What if they find out a way to... So if we're not in a simulation, right? So if we're not in a simulation, or I guess even if we are in a simulation, what if they find a way to travel to different like planets,
Right.
different stars, whatever, different galaxies, whatever it is? What if they need that lithium? What if we need it for something else?
Right.
But we decide that we're going to just all drive around in electric cars? Bro, what are we talking about?
Also, real quickly, what do at least 200,000 people in and around North Carolina don't have? Electricity.
Oh, dude, yeah. Here's the deal, gang, and this has been talked about. Texas has essentially its own power grid.
Yeah.
And during some of the storms and stuff, like, so some of the places that they tried to do like all solar, and they've tried to do this in different areas throughout the U.S. They just have rolling brownouts where like energy just goes, like lights, power, everything just go out because they run out of solar energy, because you can't base a grid on solar energy, right? And so it kind of goes back to like, you need a way to get power to your home. So power lines, now they're digging out some lines and stuff like that, but with the amount of flooding and stuff, all that shit is possible that it could have been washed up.
Yeah.
Man, anyways, but so power lines is how you get energy. Well, when storms happen, power lines go down, so then no one's got electricity. So what good's your electric car doing you? What good's your electric heat doing you? What good is your electricity doing you to light your house, keep your food cold, etc.? Dude, especially in areas like that, like we know down in West Virginia, they have natural gas veins. Like people can just tie in and get natural gas everywhere. Like natural gas is natural. It's just everywhere down there. And so it's like, why would they not, like, there's natural gas fridges, ranges,
Heaters,
furnaces, you fucking name it, lights. Like, you can power so much shit with natural gas. Why in areas like that, and I don't know if North Carolina is one of those areas. I don't know about that. But why not rely heavily on that and less on electric, and use the electric as a supplement?
Yeah.
Like up here, you know what I'm saying? Like where we live and stuff, same thing. Just like why not utilize all energy sources as supplements to each other, but use your main energy source as the main thing?
Well, then, like, I mean, when we went to that parade of homes in the cities, they were even telling us how people are switching out their gas stoves for an electric stove now.
Which is causing blackouts in the neighborhoods, because now everybody's got
electric cars,
electric car chargers, and they got the electric stoves, the induction ovens and things. And so the power grid in the cities there can't support all of that. And so they're getting power outages because people are overloading the grid there in Minneapolis.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind is like, I saw a post from someone who got affected by this, and they said things that helped me during the hurricane: my gas car, my gas generator, my gas appliances, probably an oil lantern too, even actually.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, things that didn't help me. an electric car, my electric stove, anything that needed electricity.
Right.
It was just like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And they don't, I mean, I'm sure some of those people, they don't know when they're going to have electricity again.
Yeah.
They were in the fucking mountains and there was mudslides and shit. Like, who fucking knows?
Well, even talking to my dad down in West Virginia, he's like, hey, do you guys got generators there? And I'm like, no, why?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we have power outages every month. Like, everyone up here's got generators because we have power outages every month because a tree will fall down on so they're up in the mountains. Mm-hmm. So a tree will fall down on a power line and you don't have electricity for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, bro, we don't deal with that here.
No. Can I
go ahead.
do my other conspiracy
Interject.
thing
I love it.
real quick? So I was just curious because I was like, how did like these places in the mountains get affected by the hurricane? Because I didn't really know like which direction the hurricane came from. Because I thought it came from just like the east.
Yeah.
But it came from the Gulf.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
It came from the Gulf and got way up there?
Yeah. So it came from the Gulf side and went up through like Georgia and sorry. I just want to show it to Shaun real quick. So it went up through like Georgia, like through Atlanta, and it kind of like tapered off. It looks like around Tennessee, like Nashville, St. Louis. Yeah, so I never actually saw the direction of the hurricane.
That's insane.
Okay, but let's take a look here. Of what, like, I don't know about you, Shaun. But does that, how much of North Carolina looks like it got hit in that pathway?
Just a little corner, like nothing.
So I kept like, kept doing some research. That's what I was like silently sitting here doing while Shaun was talking about other things. Because I was just like, why do so many of these maps make it seem like North Carolina didn't get hit? And yes, I know like there's rain and stuff for hundreds of miles outside of the path and whatnot. Like I get that. But eventually, I'll probably not be able to find it again. I saw like a rain path kind of thing. And randomly, it splits off and goes towards
No shit.
North Carolina. So the path of Helene went this way.
Okay.
And then there's just like this random rain bubble that was harsher than the path of the hurricane went east instead of west.
It's weird that it would just split off right there conveniently.
Very convenient.
Yeah, tell me more.
Especially with the mountains right there.
What's your conspiracy?
Oh, that it was manufactured.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Because with the mountains being, I'm pretty sure right there, right? Where are the Appalachian Mountains? Appalachian Mountains. You would think that, yeah, you would think that it wouldn't randomly go the opposite way.
Right.
Over the mountains.
Right. No, you would not think so.
Because I think that's why, like Washington, the state of Washington's really weird. Because the coast gets a lot of rain. And then the mountains kind of stop a lot of things, which is why it's like more of like a desert after that.
Yeah. So here's a couple things. So one of the theories is that there's weather manipulation, right? And that there's ways to start storms. So anyways, apparently this started back in 1946, weather manipulation. I've heard multiple different dates.
Yeah, we heard some that were like in the 1910s.
Yeah, like 1910s we've heard. And stuff, and so we've heard it starting as early as then. We've heard things about it stopping around the like 50s or 60s or something like that. But there was a video posted from 9 years ago, and it was a scientist,
a physicist
talking on a talk show or on the news.
Yep.
About laser technology they have. Go ahead, you say this way better than me.
This laser, they would shoot it into the atmosphere, and it affects the electrons and protons in the atmosphere, where it can cause it to rain. And it said they could cause it to rain and actually lightning on command with this laser.
Yep.
And it has to do with the particles, the electron, protons, neutrons, all that stuff. So how it does it, I don't know, but this laser affects all of them, and that's how they can get it to rain. And it was interesting because he was talking about how, well, like, allegedly the USSR did this when Chernobyl happened to try to contain some of the spread or something. And then he's like, oh, and yeah, we used it during the Vietnam War to try and flush out the Viet Cong from the mountains. And the news reporter jumps in and is just like, allegedly.
And he's like, yep, allegedly.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's not weird at all.
It was so weird. I'm glad you caught that too when you watched that. Mm-hmm. So yes,
you could tell that physicist is just super excited, like, and the reporter's like, allegedly, like, oh my god.
Do you think he's still alive?
That guy? Nah, he's dead, dude, for sure.
So yeah, it was very interesting. So yeah, it there's evidence out there that it can be done.
Yeah, dude. Weather manipulation was patented many years ago. It's a thing. They can make it rain. They can make it not rain. They can make it storm. Whatever they want. And so they can heat up. They have ways to make it hotter, colder, whatever they want. And so yeah, it's just interesting. I didn't know that the hurricane didn't even go in the direction of the storm. That's kind of interesting news. And it just so happened to be in the most strategic location that it could be to free up land.
Yeah.
And then another thing to think about, guys, which is very shitty, is these people live in the mountains. Do you know what you do not have in the mountains? Flood insurance.
Yeah.
So how many of these people are going to get recouped their houses, everything they lost?
None.
None of them. None of them are going to get back what they lost. Their houses, any of their things, they will not get compensated at all because they do not have flood insurance in the mountains. Because guess what? Nature doesn't have it flood in the mountains.
Yeah.
Because it's the mountains.
Yeah.
So anyways, that is what we have for you on the update of North Carolina and South Carolina over there. I hope that there's some accountability for this stuff. I hope that some truth comes out behind this, and I hope that as a nation we wake up and don't just let it slide on by like we did Lahaina.
Yeah, and I honestly do hope, like, I pray for all the people that got affected by this and have probably lost loved ones.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, I haven't seen what the known death toll is yet.
Oh, there's a couple hundred, few hundred, something like that.
Yeah.
Last time we looked, yeah.
But I'm sure it's going to keep going up because with all these mountainous little towns and stuff getting affected, I'm sure they don't even have an idea of how many people are trapped.
Yeah, I think over
lost.
like 1,000 were missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty bad.
Yep. So, hopefully those communities can recover and bounce back and hopefully protect their land from, potential mine.
Yeah, dude, pray for the people of North Carolina, South Carolina, and the ones that have been affected by Helene, and let's try to hold these people accountable.
Yeah, and let's hope this next tropical storm isn't nearly as bad.
Another tropical storm coming, so good luck and best wishes to everyone out there being affected by that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, peace out, guys.
See ya.